Good morning, Room 15. Today is Wednesday, May 27th, 2020. I'm going to jump right in because we have a long chapter ahead of us. I'm going to break it up into two. So I'll be recording 2 chapters today and then 2 chapters tomorrow. Chapter 8, George Washington versus Abraham Lincoln. It was the Friday before President's Day, and we were putting our stuff into our cubbies. I heard Andrea tell Emily that she was nearly finished with her President's Day oral report. She picked John F. Kennedy as her president. I bet my report is going to be the best in the whole class, Andrea whispered to Emily. Whenever we have an assignment to do, Andrea's is always the best in the class. Why does she have to be the best every single time? I hate her. After we pledged allegiance, we all had to go to the all-purpose room for an assembly. Mr. Klutz was up on the stage. He's the principal of the school, and his head is completely bald. I mean, completely. I wrote a poem about Mr. Klutz. It goes like this. His head is bare, it looks like a pear. His hair's not there. Where is the hair? Where is his hair? Maybe it's in his chair. Someone should share their hair. It's not fair, but I don't care. I wish I had a chocolate eclair. Did you like my poem about Mr. Klutz? I tried to sound like Dr. Seuss. He was cool, even though he wasn't a real doctor. Anyway, being the principal is like being the president of elementary school. I guess every day is President's Day for Mr. Klutz. He told us he was getting excited about the big holiday on Monday. Are you going to buy a big screen TV, Mr. Klutz? Michael shouted. No. Why? Because they go on sale on President's Day, said Michael. My dad is going to buy one. Mr. Klutz told us he was more interested in presidents than the big screen TV. In honor of President's Day, Mr. Klutz announced, we're going to have you kids vote for the president of elementary school. Whoever gets the most votes will be the president when we get back to school after the holiday. That's how democracy works. Any questions? Can we vote for any president we want? One of the third graders asked. There will be 2 candidates, Mr. Klutz said. I would like to introduce them to you now. Each president will make a short speech, and then we will vote. Mr. Macky and Mrs. Ruppy walked up onto the stage dressed like Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. Everybody clapped. The presidents each took a bow. Mrs. Ruppy spoke first. My name is George Washington, she said. I was the first and best president. I was the father of our country. I defeated the British in the Revolutionary War. Vote for me. Everybody clapped. Then Mr. Macky stepped forward to give his speech. My name is Abraham Lincoln. I was the 16th president. I saved the Union. I freed the slaves. I wrote the Gettysburg Address. Vote for me. Okay, said Mr. Klutz. Do either of you gentlemen have anything to add? I would just like to mention that the George Washington Bridge was named after me, said Mrs. Ruppy. Well, the Lincoln Tunnel was named after me, said Mr. Macky. And so were the Lincoln Logs. George Washington, Mrs. Ruppy laughed. They named some logs after you, she said. Big whoop, they put me on the dollar bill. Ooh, went all the kids. Oh yeah, said Mr. Macky, I'm on the $5 bill. So I must be 5 times better. Ooh, went all the kids. Abraham Lincoln totally dissed George Washington. I cannot tell a lie, George Washington said. You're ugly. Ooh. Abraham Lincoln looked really mad. I thought the 2 of them were going to start fighting, but Mr. Klutz stepped in between them. Gentlemen, there's no need to get nasty here. The 2 presidents looked at Mr. Klutz. Who asked you? Said Abraham Lincoln, and he shoved Mr. Klutz out of the way. Ooh, and all the kids. The Washington Monument is way taller than the Lincoln Memorial, George Washington told Abraham Lincoln. You have wooden teeth, Abraham Lincoln said, and you probably wear that silly wig to hide your bald spot. Ooh, and all the kids. I refuse to fight, said George Washington. I'm a peace-loving man. Oh, yeah, said Washington. You want to fight over who loves peace the most? Ooh, all the kids said. Bring it on, old man. I'll kick your butt. Uh-oh. They're fighting. The next thing we know, both presidents started fighting. Stay tuned for more.